You know, I've already got more light mods than every other photography channel combined, at least all the major ones. But every time I made them, people were put to sleep. Not that they weren't fascinating. Some people actually made them like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. For some reason, people aren't interested in lighting. I still can't get it in my head why everybody wants to talk about. It's like, well, I know I make tons of videos on gear, lenses, and cameras, but everything is about lighting. And it's only by lighting, not by your lens and your camera, that you actually give complementation. Complimenting, unless you want to make someone ugly or you make something. And this is true in like war photography. You could take something that's pretty bad and make it look really bad. It's like I want to show the horrors of war. So you could actually, insult your subject by giving it horrible lighting or choosing a composition and lighting or composition together to express what it is you want to give definition to as far as your subject. One key important word is subject sublimation. The root of that is sublime. I assume you know what that's like. Wow, that's sublime. Right? Subject sublimation. All of photography, especially paying photography, because no one wants you to take a picture like, hey, take a picture of my wife, make her look ugly. Right? Hey, I'm hiring you to take a picture of my product. It's meant to make you look thinner, but make it look like it makes you look fatter. All photography is a lie. When someone hires you to take a picture of their hotel to upload pictures onto Expedia, this is really common in real estate photography, it's like, well, what's the trick there? It's like, well, you use a wide-angle lens to make our tiny little crappy hotel rooms look big. And if you actually go onto like hotels.com, they're like, wow, that's a big room. It's like, no, that was shot with a wide-angle lens. Whether it's a product, a hotel room, a person's face, your job as a paid photographer, hopefully you're getting paid, is sublimation. It is to elevate or to exalt or especially to dignify or to give honor because you're being paid to honor something. It's like, hey, here's $50. Go, pretend like you really love this person, right? We know what we're talking about there, don't we? To render something as finer, to put something in the best light. I'm pretty sure that's what photography is. Professional photography, specifically expert photography, is to put something in the best light, right? It's like, well, post-processing, we're going to remove that mole. That's post-processing. We're talking specifically here about lighting, however, not Lightroom and Photoshop. We're going to give subject sublimation to exalt something rather than lowering it. To sublimate something is to elevate it. All paying photography is about subject, or in product photography, object sublimation. Make my pretty wife really pretty. Make my ugly wife, at least pretty. Make my dingy hotel look awesome. Make my small hotel rooms look big. Make my product look awesome. You ever notice those pictures that were taken of like cheeseburgers and hamburgers, Burger King, whatnot? It's like, wow, I've never ordered a burger that looks like that. It's right. The photographer did their job. The job was, we're going to pay this photographer to make our crummy hamburgers look really, really desirable. We're going to post those pictures and banners up everywhere. People are going to be drawn in, and they're going to want to buy our crummy burgers. And then they're going to say, geez, it doesn't look like the ad. Subject sublimation. Sublimation, of course, is just, in photography anyway, is a fancy word of saying lying about something. It's like, how was that meal last night? Oh, it was okay. We always try to put things in the best light if we're trying to impress somebody, especially if they're paying you. No one's paying you to make something look as it really is. There's a movie line. It's called Jewel of the Nile, and the woman says she's going to tell the truth about Omar and his evil deeds, and I think Omar says something like, if I wanted the truth, I would have hired Walter Cronkite or something like that. I forgot. In other words, he's paying a romance novelist to write fiction. And you're nothing other than a romance novelist with a camera and hopefully lighting tools. I see so many people, and I'm not guilty of it just because I make tons of videos about camera gear and lenses and speed lights and stuff. I'm not guilty of ever exalting that crap over lighting. Tons of lighting, tons of original light mods that I created, wholly original. Everything is about lighting. It's lighting. The only way you're going to sublimate your subject, even if you're not a paid photographer, like you want to show something in the best light, unless you want to, make it look bad, which is valid too in photojournalism and war photography and other things. That's valid. Make something look bad or look worse than it really is. You're being paid, or your inclination to give exaltation, to dignify, to conjure up the flattery of an object, a person, a place, or a thing, right? Every time you see a photograph and you travel to the place where that photograph was taken, it's like, I don't see it. That photograph was awesome. This place is kind of, it's okay, but person, place, or thing, object. The only way you're going to sublimate your subject or object or person or place or thing is the big L, lighting. And specifically is equally as important as lighting, because you can blast anything with light and you haven't sublimated it, is lighting control. As equally important to lighting is lighting control. And people don't get that. I see all these YouTube photographers, everybody says how great their stuff is, and just blast someone. They drop a strobe or a speed light on someone's face, usually right up here. They never change. It's like every shoot, boom, it's up here, it's up here, it's up here, it's up here. It's like, here's a person here. Really? There's no grids used. There's no honeycombs used. You can blast anything with lighting and get the correct exposure. You could teach Helen Keller how to do that. It's about lighting control. You're not sublimating your subject. Well, it's like, that is appropriate if someone has a pockmarked face, and like if you want to take the wrinkles out of an old woman. There's a ring light over here. I got a couple of ring lights over here. You use that ring light. Fascinating. 2 half-moon xenon tubes, and you blast someone's face with a ring light. It will remove the wrinkles. What you're doing is you're sublimating the person that is paying you to make them look younger, better. Obviously, a lot of that can also occur in post-processing, Lightroom and Photoshop. Draw out some wrinkles, right? So there's the key word for you. Photographic sublimation. I thought I had to define that word, since most of you might, no insult, most of you wouldn't know the definition of the word sublimate. And that is your job. If you're being paid to do it, it's definitely your job to sublimate it. And if you're doing something to exalt something that you like, you're also working as a non-paying photographer to sublimate something that you enjoy, admire, whatever. Because without the correct lighting, you can make a beautiful woman look ugly, and you can make something awesome look horrible. Everything's about lighting, and right along with it is lighting control. Why don't people learn that? Why don't people talk about lighting?